You go, okay, all right. I mean, it is a government. I agree with you. It's not ideal by any means. Okay? And we need to, and we need, the Iranian people deserve to live in a free, open, and prosperous society. I agree with that.
Gay!
In theory, in principle, I'm allowed to agree with you in theory and principle. If someone came up to me and says, I deserve to be rich and hot and have a family that loves me, I would go to that person, I'd go, I agree with you. In theory, how are we getting there? How are we getting there? This is what no one ever asks. Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Sleep by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
What? What's happening? Pleasure to meet you, man. How are you? Great. I'm great. When you got a name like Gable and you're named after Dan Gable and you go on to win an Olympic gold medal in wrestling, that's kind of
crazy.
It's kind of prophetic.
My mom, when I was young, she was trying to find names for me, and she liked Kale Sanderson because Kale was a guy at the time. But she was at a tournament in Iowa with my older brother, and she kept hearing Gable, and it was Dan Gable at the time. And, you know, Dan Gable was a huge figure in the Midwest for wrestling. And so she was like, why don't I name you Gable Dan? And the rest was history, which is really crazy. Because his whole timeline is my timeline, which is fantastic.
Except for the MMA part.
That too.
Yeah.
Which I wish he would have done.
I think it would have been amazing.
I think he would have been amazing.
But it wasn't around. I mean, when he was wrestling.
Fair enough, maybe. I don't know, do it on the street or something. He could have found a way.
It's kind of fucked that there's no real professional outlet for actual wrestling.
It is fucked. And wrestling needs a real way to go out there and be something big. And I think they have a really good one now with RAF. If you haven't heard about it,
yes,
it's American Freestyle. They're trying, and I think they're trying really well. And I think it's going to come to a point where, how do you make matchups continue? Because, you know, wrestling gets to the point where, and fighting in a lot of the sports, you can get to the point where, you know, maybe you draft a guy, and fighting, there's a next big thing. Mm-hmm. There's a next guy out there that you can kind of create. And with wrestling, they're trying to create an atmosphere of how can you create that person. And I like it, and I think it might work, and hopefully it keeps going the way it needs to go.
It would be interesting if the problem is MMA is so huge now, and people kind of associate wrestling with either MMA or pro wrestling now. Mm-hmm. Like, those are the two things that they think of. And I think it's one of those things like soccer, where soccer should be huge in America. It's huge all over the world, right? It's a very exciting sport.
It's fucking gay.
Nope.
You know what's crazy?
Soccer's fucking gay.
How popular soccer players are. And I feel like in America we have so many sports that, like, we can't hit that market for soccer. And I think that might be the biggest case why. Because if you go overseas, Ronaldo's paid $500 million, and if he scores a goal, he gets $1 million a goal or something. So he's out here doing bicycle kicks. But it's like, we have so many professional sports that LeBron James is our biggest athlete. But even then, I think it's at a point where some people see LeBron and, you know, it's not like the crazy wow factors. If you saw a soccer player in Italy or Spain, it'll be like, man, it's him.
Right. Well, they have less sports though, right?
Like, I think so.
Italy,
I think Italy got like basketball, soccer.
Well, they're not really known for basketball though. Soccer's big, boxing. There's a lot of boxers come out of Italy. But other than that,
Rome.
Yeah.
They got a couple fighters. But other than that, I think we're kind of at a halt with creating that big guy for America.
Well, it's just strange to me because wrestling itself is such an exciting sport. It really is very exciting to watch, and everybody understands it. It's not complicated.
I really think everyone understands it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
I think
but they can learn points and all the other stuff.
Have you wrestled?
Yeah, wrestled in high school.
How
just 1 year. I was doing Taekwondo at the same time because I was doing Taekwondo and I couldn't do both of them at the same time. Mm. And I was pretty good at Taekwondo.
You know what's crazy? I think since you've done Taekwondo, maybe I should try.
You are such an athlete. You're probably awesome at it.
I might be able to pull it off. I don't know if I can get to your level.
Well, you would figure it out, man. You'd figure it out. Are you flexible?
It depends how and what are we doing.
Well, you would get flexible. The thing is, like, for a guy like you, you'd figure out how to get flexible. Mm-hmm. The flexibility thing drives me nuts because, like, I've tried to show stuff to guys before. MMA fighters. And they're like, oh, I'm not flexible. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? This is not like not tall.
Okay.
Like you can flexible.
Okay.
Like you just stretch.
Okay, we can rewind now, and I can say I am flexible. I am flexible.
Well, you certainly can get flexible. Well, you can. Anyone can get flexible.
But it's not. Can you get flexible? Do you want to get flexible?
That's a
Do
good
you
question.
want to do something?
That's a good question. It's a lot of work to get flexible, and would it compromise anything? You know, some people say it compromises some stability. You know, like to have like completely over flexible hips and flexible joints, that it could possibly compromise some stability. That maybe, but I mean, Yoel Romero is pretty fucking flexible.
And he's explosive.
Crazy explosive.
Super
Bro,
explosive.
how about that match with Pat Downey?
He went out there and made Pat Downey look like a beginner wrestler. And it's crazy because Pat Downey's really good. But
Really good.
Yoel's 48.
I know.
48 shooting bronze doubles. Like he's back in 04 Olympics.
It doesn't make any sense. He's a
It
freak.
doesn't.
He's a real freak, man. And I mean, he's 48 allegedly. We don't even really know how old he is because he's from Cuba.
How old
You
do you
know?
think he is for real?
Oh, I don't know, man.
35 at this point?
I mean, he's obviously at least 48. But it's just crazy.
But you know what the best part about it is? When guys get older and they kind of get a little bigger, they don't look good in a singlet. And this is crazy to say, but Yoel looks really solid in that singlet.
Oh, bro, he looks solid everywhere, man. He's still got a six-pack.
He still does.
And, you know, now he's doing dirty boxing, and he's still fighting MMA. He's a freak. I mean, and we really didn't even get him in MMA until he was past his athletic prime.
Yes.
I mean, he really started fighting in the UFC. How old was he when he first fought in the UFC? I want to say he was like 35.
I don't know that, but it was
35.
really late because when he was going through Olympics, he was
Mario started at
sound in every
35 years
position, and
old.
like you
That's
said,
why you can
I
go
mean,
in
a
and be
couple
an
of
old man
years
and beat
ago,
the
starting
fucking
that
Christ
early,
out of
just
everybody.
Oh my God. Yeah. But that's the thing that you have too, is athleticism. And the thing about MMA is the real freak athletes, they go to football, they go to basketball, they go where all the money is, and they go where all the traditional sports avenues are. And it's just not, there's not a lot of freak athletes that wind up making their way to MMA, and when they do, they really shine. You know, and when I first started seeing you competing, you know, first obviously in wrestling, and, you know, if you can win a gold medal in the Olympics in wrestling, I mean, you have to have everything. You have to have everything. You have to be a freak athlete. You have to be unbelievably dedicated, disciplined. Nobody gets there easy.
No.
That is not a, you know, like, oh, he's just gifted. It doesn't exist. You gotta have everything, man.
There's got to be a lot of tools.
Yeah.
A lot of tools.
A lot of tools and a lot of fortitude. The thing about wrestling that I've always said is, like, not only is it the best base for MMA, because if a guy can dictate where the fight takes place, that is the most important aspect of fighting, and you can learn everything else. But it's like the mental toughness that wrestlers have, the ability to grind out those practices, the conditioning that's involved in wrestling. It's above and beyond, I think, all other sports.
Yeah, I think it's a next level thing. And then you see in UFC right now, the guys that are dominating and winning are kind of putting that wrestling base first, but making it MMA wrestling. You know, I feel like when a lot of D1 wrestlers come to MMA, they kind of don't make the switch of how to take the right shot and how to finish the right shot and how to use your feet to trip their feet out on the cage. And if you get stuck in a guillotine, how do you move from that spot? And I think you see the guys that are doing it best, the Islams, the Hamzats, are really going out there and attacking and making sure that people can understand that, hey, you got to fear this. And then next, I'm going to come with the hands. And so I think that's the biggest thing that we're working on now, is that I've wrestled my whole life, and I've done great things and won the Olympics and multiple national championships. But I think the main thing is going out there and understanding that you are that bad dude, but when you show them hands, now you have to respect both. And I think that's where a lot of this is going to come into play when I finally get to that point of reaching that competition.
Now, how long have you been striking for?
I've been going into so I'm from Minnesota, Apple Valley. I'm actually from Portage, Indiana. I moved to Apple Valley, Minnesota when I was 11 years old. And in college, I met a guy named Billy Simon. He's from Prior Lake. He fought nothing too big, just on a regional scene in Minnesota. He has a house on Prior Lake, and he has a place in his basement that is built out for MMA and stuff like that. When I was maybe 21 years old, I started hitting the pads. And mind you, stiff as a board, don't really know what I'm doing. But he's kind of started and guided me along the way.
How old are you now?
I'm 25.
So just 4 years.
Just 4 years, but I think really, really striking, 7 months.
Like,
That's so crazy.
like really
That's
after it,
so crazy.
really time consuming. Hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not gonna wrestle. I'm doing MMA. I would say 7 months.
But when you watch your dirty boxing match, I would have never believed that. Except I know what an athlete you are. It's so crazy how someone who really knows how to use their body can learn other things.
Well, I think the main thing also is I'm all ears. You know, you can't go out there and think that you can do something without putting that time and effort in, like we talked about with the Olympics, or like you talked about. But I think the main thing is if I can go out there and be all ears and soak up game from people that are trying to show me the way, I think I can do a lot of great things. And that's all I do. I'm all ears. I want to show up twice a day. I want to do the best thing I can. If I got to show up 3 times a day and I feel like it, I'm going to go do it. Because
well, it's also to be an elite athlete like yourself, you have to be coachable. You have to really, like, the guys who, like, already know things, like, I'm going to do it my way, like, they never get elite.
it doesn't work.
No.
And I think you got to put that guard down. You got to trust somebody. And if you don't trust anybody, and man, I think I can do it alone. I think I can kind of wing it. I think I can maybe not practice today. You got to trust somebody, and you got to put your heart into somebody. And I feel like I have a good group of people around me to kind of put that heart into. And they're leading me in the right direction. And I'm grateful.
So you were doing a bunch of different things, right? So you become an elite wrestler, and then for a while you were thinking about playing football. So you played football for a short amount of time?
Buffalo Bills, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you play it for?
I never played football in my life.
You never played?
No, that was the first. Hey, that was the first time I played football. I promise.
That's crazy. First time you played football was professional.
It was in NFL. My mom was always scared. The high school coach at the Apple Valley High School in Minnesota were like, "Hey, come play football." They were trying to call my mom and dad, and I'm like, "You're not going to convince her. She is scared to death of football." The whole time I'm wrestling. So where do we bridge this gap at?
Right.
And I just get done with WWE. And I go out there and I'm chilling. I get a call saying, "Hey, you want to try out for the Bills?" And I tell Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean, I said, "Hey, don't expect much, but I can put on shoes, but I've never had football cleats on. I never had pads on. I don't even know how to put the tights on, anything." And I went out there and I sprinted my ass off, though, in that tryout. I was sprinting down and back and forth. I said, "Hey, if I don't know any technique for D-line, you're going to see effort." And McDermott saw effort, and that's all he needed to see, and he gave me a chance.
What was that like? Like jumping into a completely new sport?
Hard, because it's not just football.
And how old were you when you did that?
20. I just turned 24.
Wow.
I just turned 24. It's.
Ooh.
I know you see that stance. That's the beginner stance. But I came out there no gloves, just winging it.
Uh-huh.
And I told them just give me a good chance. But football is not just football. It's the playbook, and the playbook is crazy because I went from, hey, go out there and wrestle someone one-on-one, to see if the guard is light on his feet, or see if he's leaning forward, to see if the center is gonna silent count maybe, or see if the guard taps the center to snap the ball. There's a lot of different things that you got to know. And I'm out there with this big ass helmet on. I've never put a helmet on, Joe. So I'm out there with this big ass helmet. My head's like down and I can't look up. And I don't know what I'm doing. But I knew if I gave effort that someone would give me a chance. And I went out there in my first game. I think I had a tackle, a QB rush, and that was kind of unheard of at the time because I've never played ball before. But it was crazy. Once in a lifetime experience, most definitely.
And when you got cut, did you think about trying somewhere else? Did you think about doing it more?
Yeah, once I got cut from Buffalo, I was the last one to get cut from the room. I remember going in to see Bean and McDermott, and they were gonna do practice squad. But I knew they were gonna do practice squad, so I was like, "Yo, just send me home. I'll figure it out. I'll try again." So my plan was to go back to college and wrestle already. But I sat around for maybe a month. Baltimore Ravens called me, and Baltimore was like, "Hey, you want to come to a tryout?" I said, "Okay." I never played football before. Just to let you know, like, if it's a little shaky. I went out there and I dominated the tryout, and I had like 10 minutes of work, but it was a great 10 minutes. And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna take your physicals. You're gonna be here and stay." The injury report comes back, and the injury report says they need they need a DN and a linebacker. So you got to compensate for the spot. You need someone to play next week. And I probably needed like 6 weeks on practice squad to play. And so I get sent home. They say, "Give me a week. We'll bring you back." A week comes, they'll bring me back. And so I'm like, okay, I see the writing on the wall. Let me move on. I sit for a little bit. Indianapolis Colts call. They just got ran over by a team. They said, "We need a run stopper." So So I go out there, do the trial. I think it went well. They said, we're not taking anybody today. And then from there, I was like, maybe this is not it. And so I went back to wrestle.
And did you ever think about MMA at that time? Was it in the back of your head?
MMA was in the back of my head since the Olympics. But I wanted to make sure that if I was going to go to MMA, that let me try things first before going all in on something that I need to go all in on. And I did my tryouts, I did my things, and now I want to go in all in on something that is finally here.
And when your mom was scared of you doing wrestling, how did she feel about you doing MMA?
Oh, she's shitting all over. Oh my God, she can't even watch. She didn't even watch me wrestle. And so now I'm like, Mom, I got a dude about to punch me in the face. Maybe if he can get to me. Are you sure you want to come and watch? And she's like, yeah, I'll come watch. And she comes, has a good time and has her drinks. And when I step out, I'm like, where were you? Oh, I was in the back. So you didn't even see me fight? So I'm like, why you even come then? So she, out of the 3 fights I've had, she sat in the back and she'd be like, John will go and get her and be like, it was done. And she's like, oh, what happened? And John will be like, good, it's all day.
So did she get nervous? Is that what it is?
Oh my God, she's sweating, she's nervous. But I'm just like, I'll give her that look of like, if this is one of them ones, I'm gonna tell you. But I haven't given her those looks yet, so she'll know.
So when you make this, so you decide football's not going to happen, WWE's not going to happen. You did like one televised match with WWE.
I did, yes.
Right? Yeah. What was that like?
Honestly, I had a great, from me being real and honest, I had a great experience. I have nothing wrong with anybody there. TKO was great, Triple H, Paul Levesque was great, Stephanie, Vince, everybody was great. I just had a competitive drive that I needed to get out. And so, when you have that gap is there, you can't do both.
Right.
And I was trying to bridge both, and I wasn't giving my 100% to the business. And if I'm not going to give 100% to the business, then you might as well X me out.
Yeah.
It's already over. So, that's practically how it happened.
Yeah, no slight on pro wrestling, but it's just like, if you really want to compete.
You got to get it all out.
Yeah.
And so I would love to go back in the future. I would love to do a sport and go out there and dominate. And then, hey,
maybe after the UFC heavyweight champ.
For sure. Maybe after a couple times. And so I would love to go. And if it meant well, and I would do it again, most definitely, because I have no hard feelings to them. And that's how it goes.
So when you make the decision that you're going to go into MMA, what is that like? Like, what are the steps that you take?
I got done with NCAAs, and I said I flew down to Miami. I met with John and a couple other people, and I said, hey, I want to fight. And John had me in his camp.
So we're talking about John Jones. And did you know John before this?
I knew John because I knew John from Instagram. John liked wrestling, so I knew John from IG. He sent me a DM. He sent me his number. And if you know John, he don't answer the phone worth anything, and it's crazy. But he sent me his number. He said, call me. So I called him, and this was before he got hurt for the first Stipe fight. He was like, I want you to come practice with us. I want a wrestling partner. I left him and played football. The next year comes. No, I'm sorry. I don't even know where I was at the time. But Skip, we go, and he's like, I want you to come back for the second camp. He's going through it. Me and John hit it off like that.
Wow.
We hit it off.
And so when you guys started training together in camp, is that when it really sunk in your head? When you're like, this is what I want to do?
Yeah. He really, I needed somebody to kind of engrave it in me. With wrestling, I had my father. I had the University of Minnesota. I had a lot of good people around me kind of like say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. This is where you need to go. And this is how it's going to happen. And when I saw John, I saw that drive of like, damn, this guy's winning. And people get close, but they can't get past him. And why is that? So I really sat back and like watched his mental and like how he went about a lot of things, how he talked to people, how he greeted people, how he walked, how he punched, maybe how he looked when he was in the pocket, when he needed to get out, when he rested his hands. And I saw everything, and I was like, wow, like, man, this guy's a superstar, superstar, and we all know that, and people know that for a long time now. But I really saw him, and I was like, damn, I want to be that. And that's what flipped my switch right there.
What an amazing opportunity. You haven't done any MMA, and you get to go in there and train with the GOAT.
It's crazy. This one, man, it's hard to explain. I tell people ask me all the time, like, what was it like seeing John for the first time? Because I'm 25, so when John was like super peak, I was like 12, 13 years old, and I'm looking at this guy beat Gus of San Reyes and Thiago Santos and stuff like that. So it's different. You see a different side of people, and when I saw John, I was like, wow, like I've seen you for my whole life, and I get to see you in person. Like, how cool is that?
Okay, if your New Year's resolution was change everything and be a new person, good luck. So instead of pretending you're going to meal prep kale forever or do morning cold plunges, here's one actually realistic thing, AG1. AG1 is a daily health drink that supports your energy, gut health, immune health, and helps fill common nutrient gaps. Just one scoop in cold water each morning and you're off. It's got over 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food ingredients in there. So instead of guessing whether you need a probiotic or a prebiotic or sorting through 10 different bottles of pills and powders, you can just do one scoop and get on with your day. It's great because it feels like the grown-up move, but for once it's actually really easy. It takes like 30 seconds, and you'll notice the steadiness that sets you up for the day. Not wired, not crashing, just functional human being energy. I partnered with AG1 for years, and if you want to give it a try, head to drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan, and for a limited time, you'll get a free AG1 duffel bag and free AG1 welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order. Only while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan, or visit the link in the description to get started.
What if there was an ice cream truck, but for adults? I partnered with LDOE to show you exactly how I brought this idea to life with Creative Cloud. So first things first, I started by creating a mood board. I really wanted fun, vibrant, summery colors. Once I got the direction down, I helped straight into Illustrator to bring the logo to life. And to customize the font, my favorite tool to use is the pencil tool. Then once I got the visual identity settled, I moved into Photoshop to create some markers. This person is my favorite part because you get to see everything come together. Here I'm using generative expand just to convert the square image to a larger vertical image. I even played around with Adobe Firefly to generate these cool splash images to add some additional depth to my markups. Alright y'all, and here is the final branding. All of this was done using Adobe's latest tools, and yes, I absolutely want a frozen pina colada. Adobe Illustrator, Firefly, and Photoshop are all included in Creative Cloud. Check it out to take your creative skills to the next level, and as always, make something beautiful today so you can leave at least one person inspired. Bye, love you.
Forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift. Well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year, like 11 months early. What do you have to lose?
People that don't even know, the close fights that John had, they were really only close because John wasn't training. That's really all it is. 100%. John was partying, and he was what I would call playing with his food. You know, like he didn't like the Gustafsson fight is a perfect example. Didn't train at all for the Gustafsson fight. I mean, I talked to Greg Jackson, and it was like, I swear to God, he barely showed up. I'm like, that is so crazy. And then he gutted it out in the last rounds. That's what's crazy. It's a close decision, but he wins the fight by gutting it out in the final rounds when he's done relatively no strength and conditioning.
Nothing.
So crazy.
It's fantastic to see.
Then really gets motivated for the second fight with Gustafsson and just smokes it. Which you expect. When John is in prime form, he's the greatest of all time. And
definitely.
For you to be able to be a young guy who's thinking about MMA and training with the greatest of all time, two division world champion, it's crazy.
Yeah, you don't, and it's amazing because you don't see the guy that's you see the best of the best right away.
We're back. So anyway, where were we? Yeah. So you're saying you're talking about like what it's like to first start training with them. Mm-hmm. So you had no MMA training really before that at all. You had just been doing a little bit of striking with this guy.
Joe, I kid you not. I didn't even know really how to defend punches.
That's crazy.
I didn't know how to defend punches, and you probably saw a video of him throwing the knee at me because I'm so hard-headed. I'm like, let me shoot on John. The whole time I forgot he's a national championship wrestler.
Right.
So I didn't even know how to defend a punch. I didn't know how to defend a kick. I didn't know how to do anything. But I went in there and I said, hey, if you need somebody, it's got to be me. And that's how hungry I was. And I feel like that's how kids should be nowadays about getting that opportunity. Man, just be hungry. because someone's going to respect you.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, not a whole lot of people get that opportunity. That's a crazy opportunity. It's also like John is an elite wrestler as well, and so like learning how to incorporate elite wrestling into all the other aspects of MMA and to be able to go right into camp with John is just, this is amazing. Incredible opportunity.
Super incredible. I'm grateful for it every day, and especially he's still here in my corner to this day. We talked this morning. He's still giving me all the pointers, all the advice, even when we're not even fighting. Just telling me how I should say things, what I should say, how I need to go about life, how I need to go about business and meeting people and greeting people. So it's a true opportunity.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So when you're in camp with him, you're going through the camp. Were you planning on MMA then? Or like, how does it work? Like, what were you think? Were you just like, the moment you started training with them, is that when it really started the fire in you?
Yes. I had a little bit of burn for it. But
like in the back of your mind.
Yes, but a little burn, you gotta have the heart. You gotta have the heart. So what was the stamp on it was I went to Madison Square Garden with him, and John was just doing John things, you know, just being a superstar. Everybody knew who he was, and I was like, man, you know, I got an Olympic gold medal, you know, like maybe I should be getting some too, like, you know, like John showed me the way a little bit. So I'm trying to have him show me the way. He's bringing me to every place, meeting every person, you know, showing me the opportunities that he has. And he looks at me and he was like, you can have this too. And that was kind of the cherry on the top. But we can put another cherry on the top and do a double one when he won the fight. And then I'm holding the belt with him. And like, I see this guy face to face and, you know, he's just the most popular man on earth for that day. And that's kind of like, wow, like, you don't really get to see the backstage moments. You get to see the guy go out there. Like, I got to see the backstage of everyone taking the pictures with him, the superstars. You know, I'm walking out the next game and I see Queen Latifah and I'm like, damn, like, that's Queen Latifah. And I'm taking a selfie with Queen Latifah. I'm like, yo, can I send this to my mom? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. And I see Fat Joe talking to him and everybody, and I'm like, wow, like, this is what it is to be like a real fighting star. Like, and fighting is one-on-one. And people want to watch someone fight, but I think in other sports, like we talked about earlier, there's a full team with helmets on, with jerseys on, but in fighting, people want to meet that badass dude, and they want to meet the champ, and that's what I want to be.
Yeah. So what is training with John like? Like, what is the training camp like? Like when, you know, you obviously haven't gone in training camp with any other elite fighters.
Whoever invented this tool deserves a raise. I spent tens of thousands learning from a master electrician and somehow ended up...
I finally got enough money where I can pay $1 a week to be on the New York Times app.
Yeah.
And it's so... I mean, they've built Twitter. Like, the experience of it and the scrolling on it, it feels like you're in Twitter, but only mediated through selected journalists from the New York Times. And suddenly you're like, I'm just stepping into, for a moment, whatever bubble that is. I wanted to take a look at it.
Well,
it's like...
I think they're all going to have to course correct. I think they're all going to have to realize that it's not being intellectual, like a true intellectual, a true progressive, by only looking at things from one perspective, and to automatically assume that anybody that has a different perspective, hey, we're back.
There we go.
Where was I?
So they need to have a course correction. We're talking about the mainstream media and that they've lost that many people.
That's what I'm saying, was that you can't proclaim yourself to be intellectual by only listening to one perspective and to being like very aggressive and hostile about the other perspective. Immediate ad hominems, immediate attacks on, you know, lumping everyone in together, associated, like we were talking about earlier, associating ancient history with racism. Like, you're doing that, it's a little trick you're doing. Yeah. You're not having a real conversation, you're being a bitch. And this kind of communication sucks. It sucks for the left, it sucks for the right. When people on the right, it's a bad human communication skill. If you were good at it, you would want other people to have different opinions, and you'd want to hear those opinions and talk to those people.
I think they're trying to course correct. This is what you need to watch. And it's who they're... I don't want to... They love Schultz at the New York Times.
Well, he goes over
They've
there.
picked him. Yes, they've
But
picked
he
him.
goes
out,
over
like,
there and
we can
talks
work
to
with
them.
him.
Yeah, well, he's very
Starving,
smart.
They want him.
Sure, and he's another guy who's very smart and very fun. You know, so like they want these people because they've been kind of locked out of the fun.
Yeah. Well, they just pretended that it didn't exist.
Do you see Schultz talk to them though?
I
When
haven't
he talks to
on the
them?
round table.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's
great.
hilarious because they're talking in these bullshit terms.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, you know, let's just talk real here.
When he goes, the Jews. And everybody laughs because he's a comedian. He's allowed to be funny.
Yeah, and there's another one that he did with another guy, I forget, from what other mainstream media publication. It was the same sort of situation. And to have it that way, where it's a one-on-one conversation, then you get to see like the weird way that they actually think and communicate. The bubble. Like when Tim Dillon was
The
on
CNN one.
Yes.
I was going to say it's one of
amazing.
Because she kept asking this. She didn't want it. They resisted releasing that as a long form thing.
Yes.
And you can see why, because she's asking the same question 3 or 4 times in a row
Yeah.
to try and bait something, which is not how a conversation works.
We pressured them into putting the whole thing out.
She keeps going, real,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Real, just to get him, because he's a fun guy, and he wants to say something funny. And she's like baiting him to say something exaggerated.
Yeah, Jon Stewart had the best response to this whole thing. He was talking to some guy from the New Yorker, and they were talking about this podcast, and he's like, you know, they were talking about different opinions and different people that I've talked to, and he's like, but Joe Rogan has the biggest audience in the world. He has a bigger audience. He's like, well, go get a big audience.
Yeah.
Go get it.
It's not like they don't have the finances.
You just go figure it out, do it right, and you'll get a big audience. Like, it's not that fucking complicated. I don't have pyrotechnics. There's no CGI. There's not even a crew. There's a skeleton crew of people who do this.
But I think some of it is it's just like ivory tower mentality of if it becomes like that, they think there is people who have got like a very big education and have gone through the whatever system you have to jump through to get to an elite legacy thing.
Right.
Is that most people are too stupid to have like an open and honest conversation with.
Right.
And that if stupid people like you, then that's a problem. That's how they're viewing the world, and that there's like...
Well, they're also viewing the world in that they're protecting people from opinions they don't agree with. Even though they listen to those opinions, it has no effect on their position. They keep the same position.
Yes.
But they're worried that people dumber than them. It's a very condescending thought process.
To think that you're the only open-minded person.
Right. And not only that, and people that are dumber, which is most people, you're going to fall into the trap of what this person's saying that I don't agree with.
And there's... Yes.
Yeah.
And that the only way to get people to listen to you is to like spin lies. Like you can't just be honest.
Exactly.
Which is what I think the podcasting thing is. It's what it is. You can't really put on a facade for 3 hours talking to somebody.
Maybe you can.
I think that might be who he is at this point.
Yeah, he is definitely that. Well, that's why I wanted to do a podcast with him. So you can say 3 hours. By the way, no questions beforehand, no prep. Didn't pee. Sat there for 3 hours. He's almost 80. Like, if he was wearing a diaper, respect. But the guy just fucking hung out for 3 hours. Does that mean I agree with everything he does? Fuck no. Of course not.
But he was able to be himself for 3. He was able to talk for 3 hours. Whereas Kamala wouldn't do it.
Well,
she
could have. She could have done it. I'm telling you, man.
I watched her for 6 minutes on Stephen Colbert, and I don't think
different. It's different. He's kind of being like an interviewer, right?
Yeah.
He's in this weird position where he's at a desk.
Bath
desk
Alicia.
on the side for some reason, 'cause that's how they always used to do it. So these fucking uncreative people just do it the exact same way, always. It doesn't make any sense. Why does he have a desk? Is he writing? What does he have?
Yeah.
Does he have pens in the drawer? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why am I on a couch over here? Why am I sitting down, like, to the right of you? It's weird. It's always in the same position. Host is always to the right.
Yeah.
They're always to the left of the screen. It's goofy, right? So he's doing this thing that you only do on television in front of an audience, by the way. You should never have a conversation in front of an audience. Because as soon as you do, the people are aware of the audience.
Yeah.
You're aware of how people think and feel, and you're playing to them, and some people say things to try to get a rise out of you in front of the audience, like, if you want to do that, it's a different thing. But if you're going to have, like, a really important conversation with someone, you don't want to do it in a fucking audience. So, Stephen, the way he's doing is handicapped from the jump. Also, you only have 7 minutes before you have to cut for commercial, or whatever it is. You can't do that. It'll take me 7 minutes to ask what she likes to cook. I want to know I don't know. I want to know is there anything that she regrets doing? What does she learn from this time? Is it more complicated being a vice president than you thought it was going to be? Like, what is the web of trying to fix things and change things versus the people that are influencing you to make decisions? Because we're not pretending that people don't spend a lot of money to influence your decisions. So how much of an effect does it have?
What do you actually believe when they come to you?
Right.
Those facts.
What would be better? Couldn't we take money out of politics? Would you be willing? What would we do if we completely eliminated corporate funding of any politician? Those are the kind of questions we could have talked for hours about.
But she doesn't want to do that. And the people around her, this is what I mean. There's something that the right used to have this as well. And both sides of politics had it. And I remember there was like, Howard Dean, I think it was, did a weird scream.
Yeah, what scream?
And the whole thing fell apart. And that really stayed with me. That I remember watching politics and there was some sense of like, everything is very manufactured, and if you make a single mistake, oh my God, you're going to lose the primary, it's all over. And Trump destroyed that with the Republicans, where it all became we've just got to like hang out and talk, and everyone got very loosey-goosey on the right.
Yeah.
And the Democrats have not adjusted to that. Bernie could do it, they just froze Bernie out, and they did coming through.
Right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You could not have a person like that before Trump. There's no way. There's no way.
I mean, you can't have her with. She's gone.
She's gone now.
She's gone.
But she wouldn't have existed without him. Like that sort of brash, crazy personality, that had not existed in a congressperson.
And there will be someone on the left who can do that.
Jasmine Crockett, she's doing that.
Man, maybe.
She gets aggressive.
She does.
Loud. They get crazy with each other. Listen, it's a reality show now.
I know people don't like her. I think she would maybe come on the show.
Okay.
Have you invited her to come on the show?
No. Listen,
I'm too scared. Have me on the show.
I think a lot of
She
them
came up with the
are
rhymes
probably
again.
very nice people. Very nice people. And this is not an attack on any individuals. I think that system turns you into a sociopath. That's what I think. And I think there's very few people. Tulsi Gabbard, my friend, she's one of them. I love her. She's amazing. She's a real person. Like that lady is the same person on air, off air, meeting people, hanging out with her husband. I've hung out with her hours and hours and hours. That's who she is. She's cool as fuck. And she was a congressperson, but she has horror stories.
Yeah.
When she tells you like what it's like on the inside, when you find out how these people are making hundreds of millions of dollars on $170,000 a year salary, and no one's batting an eye, that is kind of kooky. It's kind of kooky because even ones you wouldn't suspect, like, wait a minute, they're worth how much? Now you don't really know how much they're worth, right? You'd have to get an audit, right? Because what you're hearing is a reporting of what they're worth. And it could be total propaganda. It could be half what it is. But even if it's millions, even if it's a couple million, if you've been a congressperson for 2 years, and now all of a sudden you're worth $3 million, and you were in debt before you became a congressperson, that's suspicious. And you look at the people that invest money, that's where it gets really crazy. Because it is not a blue thing, and it's not a red thing. It's both. Everybody is making money on the stock market. There's a shitload of these people that are buying a bunch of stock, and then conveniently, a short time later, a bill gets passed that they were working on that makes it very profitable for that country. Stock shoots through the roof. They make a giant windfall.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who said it. There was some line that someone said about like you can sort of believe what you want in American politics, and you'll get rich for it. Like, no matter what you actually believe, there's a group out there who are going to get you rich for having a belief. Sure. Like, if it's the environmental people, if it's the fossil fuel people.
Right.
I mean, there would be varying scales of it. But also, you can fix this. Like, there are ways to
fix the money in politics.
I mean, we know of that leader one. What was that? It was the sort of the dictator of Singapore. You might not like that. He won elections, but Singapore is like a single-party state.
Oh, so it's like when Putin wins.
I don't want to get in trouble with the people of Singapore.
Listen,
but it is notable that one party wins every single time, and they don't primary, and they win almost all the seats. And they are really popular. But he brought in like canings, and he got drugs out of the country, and he started paying the politicians a lot. Like, if you're a politician in Singapore, you get a huge salary. But but you are not to ever be corrupt. Like, you're meant to have enough money that they can't really buy you. And that might be the only way. Because if you had, you know, what are they earning? $170,000 something a year to be a congressperson. If they are making $3 million a year, and the punishment for taking money from anybody else or from getting a stock, you know, maybe you can't own stocks, but we give you $3 million a year. Right. Then at least you can't be swayed. Like, you're taking a lot of tax money to do the job, but at least there's some insulation. Someone being able to go, I want you to vote this way.
I think if you have a totalitarian dictatorship, you could probably pull it off, because if the politician is bad, you can shoot him. Yes. The problem in America, if you have $3 million and you know a guy who's got $50 million, you feel poor because we're retarded. All right? Brian Callen has a friend who's worth, I think he's worth $8 billion, and he feels broke because his friend is worth 30. No, for real. Yeah. There's people that get that goofy.
I've seen it a couple times.
So if you're in the business of trying to make money, which is what most politicians are, it's like they decided not to go into sales, they go into politics, they're trying to make as much money as they can while they're there. Yeah. Right? That's what most people are doing with most jobs. If you're doing that and you're just kind of a person who's drawn to that kind of a job, you're not going to be happy with your salary. If you find out that there's some NGO that you can invest in, and you can start a non-profit, and then it becomes a profit, and you can funnel money overseas, and then corporations that you buy into also can use the laws that you're passing. You're gonna do it anyway. They're gonna do it anyway.
This is what Plato says.
They're gonna say,
Yeah, he's a fucking douchebag. He's lucky that I don't fucking send people to go fucking smash his everything he has.
you're gonna say, this is what happens if you steal from America.
I can do it too. All I have to do is just 2 fucking phone calls.
It would have to be a totalitarian dictatorship, but then it brings us back to the thing about using the military in the cities.
And people owe me down there, so I'm owed a lot. He's fucked if he plays around. I'll have his whole place smashed.
So as soon as you say we can't,
That's what it is. Life happens, karma happens, especially little douchebags like that cunt. But it's all good. We need 3 more of these to do our thing, and I need to see if I can make leather now.
And you're justifying doing it, saying because this is a special case. The problem is, what if that gets solved? You're going to move further.
Oh, tanning rack.
You've already got me to allow you to arrest. You can arrest me for tweeting things.
Oh,
okay?
fuck, yo.
Yes to that. So what else is next? Like you're gonna keep going. If you make money, you want to make more money. If you pass laws, you want to pass more laws. Yeah. That's how you get numbers on the board. That's how you win this fucking game. You can't let them ever score.
I'm close to my glue. I need to take it back. Give me my glue back. I need my glue. Actually, I need these.
The problem is there's so much profit in it, and they get to
Ta-da!
vote on whether or not they can still do this insider trading thing, right? Which is bananas.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a new chat, so people like him can't be in there, and we have no mods, so we can't remove him.
Because you're just hoping that the person is a benevolent dictator.
And that's the issue that we got going on right now with that. That's the reason why I'm gonna make another camp chat. I have 2 different Discord channels. So I personally can't get cut off of fucking talking to people.
There's never a time where it makes sense where one person is the head dude of 350 million people. That is nuts. That is completely nuts.
Yeah. But you also, I mean, as a country, you have a great tolerance, I think, compared to other, like, Western democracies, for letting there be some chaos.
Yeah, because we have guns. That's part of it. I think this is a heavily armed country.
Tolerating chaos allows you to have the guns, though. Like, if you didn't have the virtue of going, some people are going to get shot, and we're going to be okay with that.
Well, it's not just that. It's like, it was written into the Constitution because we were rebelling, right? We were rebelling from the dictatorship. We had escaped. And when we had declared that this was a country, we were
fuck,
like,
I gotta
stay strapped.
fucking fuck.
Because these motherfuckers might come back. And we all agreed to that.
Yeah.
What do I need here? I need 20 of those.
Okay, but they were talking about muskets. Now people have
Can I add these?
AR-15s. Now people have, you know, switches they can put on Glocks and they can fire automatic. Like,
It's a tactical nuclear weapon defended under the Second Amendment.
you want to hear the scariest thing that I heard? This was a guy that was talking about the UAP program and the back engineering of flying saucers.
Yeah.
What do they call it? A simultaneous or a spontaneous? What was the word that he used for it? Instantaneous. That these UFOs that they believe use some sort of a gravity, some sort of a propulsion system that's unknown to modern science, standard conventional science, and they can literally transport, like going from place to place in space instantaneously. And so what did the United States government try to do? They try to use it as a method of delivering a nuclear bomb. So an instantaneous nuclear payload delivery system. That's what they were calling flying saucers. The first thing they thought about doing with them was instantaneously deliver a nuke. So no one could retaliate and they didn't even see it coming. You would just have a flying saucer with a nuke appear in the Kremlin.
Oh my god!
What's weird though, you guys had that capability for years.
Allegedly.
No, I mean, when no one else had the nuclear bomb, and when we didn't have good anti-air programs, and just America alone had nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
You could have at that point. You could have said, we're in charge of the world now, or everyone's dead.
Well, there was a bunch of people that did. I mean, that's what Dr. Strangelove is all about, right?
You made movies about it, and you talked about it, but you didn't do it when the Suez Crisis kicked off. I think Eisenhower was like, can we get a nuke in there? And people said, no, Mr. President.
Bro, they came real close to nuking things 3 or 4 times.
What a beautiful thing that you held back.
Yes.
No one else would. I think about this a lot. That, like, if anyone else had discovered the nuclear weapon, that's it. You'd have global hegemony by one power.
Well, I think that is one thing about America that most people will agree to, is that we like to think of ourselves as being the best country in America, and that comes with responsibility. Being the greatest superpower comes with responsibility. That's why people get real uncomfortable about, like, drone bombing statistics and shit like that. They get real uncomfortable because it makes you really question, like, what we do.
Yeah.
When you tell people, did you know that like more than 80% of the people that die in drone bombings are civilians? Accidental kills.
So every time someone tries to be nice about Obama, then they have to go, no, we're the drone bombings.
Yeah. I know. They always have to do that. You know, listen, I think we found out through Obama, most likely what you find out through anybody that gets through there that's not Trump, is that they immediately co-opt you into the system. You had no idea how the system worked until you got in there. You were and then all of a sudden you're president. You have some amazing ideas, and you're a great spokesperson, and probably the best statesman we've ever had. Like the best representative of the best about America. A guy who is from a single mom, you know, grew up poor, didn't have a silver spoon in his mouth. Yeah. Forget about all the narratives of him being related somehow to the Bushes. There's a lot of that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, there's like a whole conspiracy theory. But the point is that what you got is a guy who was promoting hope.
Joe Rogan Experience.
Train my day, Joe Rogan podcast my night, all day.
Relax. What's happening, man? It's very nice to meet you.
Hey, it's great to meet you as well, Joe. I really appreciate you taking me out here.
Oh, my pleasure. I've enjoyed your content for quite a while now, so.
Well, I'd be interested to know when was it that you first started getting interested in what I was doing? What kind of subject? What topic?
I wish I remembered.
Because I know you followed me for a couple of years, all the Khafre pyramid scans and stuff. Like, you know, I'm into the UFO subject and things like that, but I wasn't sure.
Well, it's all the silly shit that I love. Silly and serious at the same time. Ancient civilizations, mysteries, and obviously aliens.
Oh yeah, and it's all cotangent. It all connects together. That's
I think so too. We actually played a clip. We did a podcast yesterday with Dr. Michael Masters.
Love him. Yeah, talked to him a couple times.
Very fun, very smart guy, very interesting guy. But we played. We were talking about. He has a theory that aliens are human beings in the future.
Yeah.
It's a very strange theory.
based on like kind of the anthropological view and the physiology and how that might have happened over time.
And there's also, what was the model? There's the many worlds theory, and then what was his model? There's a different one. The concept is you could, if you lived in the future, you could go back in time and it would not affect the future because everything that's supposed to happen is already happening.
Right.
And you were supposed to go back anyway. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
I try to get my head. But anyway, during that time, I asked him about the tridactyl mummies, and then we played your clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played the clip that showed all the scans. We talked about Jesse Michaels and how he went down to Peru and actually touched those things and was there with them and how surreal it was.
Yeah, I was in Peru recently, not to go and see the Nazca mummies. I wish I could have seen them. I was out there to look at all the megalithic studies and the excavations going on at Sacsayhuaman, which is an incredible megalithic site in Cusco. But the Nazca mummies, I mean, what's interesting about it is that obviously you're going to have a big knee-jerk reaction to something that's so incredibly profound as the idea of these being non-human intelligences that are mummified. But when you actually look at the CT scans and the X-rays, you start to realize that this can't be faked. You can't fake bone cartilage. You can't fake capillaries and heart valves and a fetus inside the body. So
it's so nuts.
Dude, it's crazy. Some of them have eggs inside them. Some of them have fetuses. Like,
it
it's
looks
like
like the eggs are big. Like
these ones are meant to be like the little kind of like 60 centimeter beings with like 3 eggs inside them. And then you got the big one, Montserrat, which has an actual fetus, like a baby, not in an egg. So it's like, if these are all real, it does feel like there was some sort of genetic experimentation going on where they was churning out prototypes of some form.
Do you think that's it, or do you think that there used to be another type of, for lack of a better word, primate?
Well, the thing is
that a primate? I mean, what is that?
I mean, some of them, they're leaning more towards like reptilian, anthropod kind of lineage. So like the bigger ones, whereas the smaller ones with the eggs are sharing reptilian traits. So it's like there are all these different variations with these different bodies, different kind of like physiological characteristics, which is why it's like, okay, well, is this one lineage or is this just someone kind of like tweaking? All right, well, that one failed, that one's not working. This one grew wings, fuck that one off. Like, you know, it's just weird.
So your thought is that these are the products of experiments?
I mean, if you look at when Jesse Michaels did his documentary, one thing he mentioned, I can't remember where he got this from, but he was saying that the original translation of the area of Nazca from the original language was like the area of experiment and genetic cloning, or it was like a really strange definition for the actual area that kind of says experimentation and genetic modification. I can't remember the exact quote, but this was something that he brought up in the documentary, and I was like, huh? And then you have all of these various different examples.
I ask you, who said that? Who called it that?
So, when Jesse Michaels put out his documentary, there's just a scene in it. Now, my memory is fading a little bit, but there's a scene in it where he's talking about the Nazca region, and he said that in the original language, this translates roughly to the area of experimentation and genetics.
But how do they know what those terms are?
I agree. But it's just a weird little caveat that he brought up in the documentary. I'm not quite... He'd probably be rolling his eyes now. I actually fucking know exactly what this is. Like, it makes me look like an idiot. I'm butchering it, but no, for sure. These things exist. And they exist in an area of the world which is full of mystery. Megalithic sites around there. Like I said, that's what I was out there for, to see these different megalithic sites and the Nazca lines. And, Sacsayhuaman, and in the Sacred Valley, you just have, like, incredibly complex architecture. Rose quartz, granite, diorite, andesite, these incredibly hard stones, like in Egypt. But honestly, I find Peru even more baffling than Egypt with the architecture. Because of just the level of interlocking precision that you see, and the fact that it looks like they've softened the stone in Sacsayhuaman. It looks like marshmallows, like all squished together. And it just invokes a lot of different theories from people about how they were actually manipulating the stone.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it was just carved.
No.
Right? Like, it does seem like there's some areas where chunks have been removed from, the quarries. But when they're all pieced together, when you see those weird, like, curvatures to it, it's like, what were you guys doing? And perfect precision.
Perfect precision, and, like, sometimes you'll see like these corners where just a tiny bit of stone is jutting up and then the other two are connecting into it. It's like, this is such a ridiculous level of complexity for an apparent 600-year ago Bronze Age bronze chisels and stone hammer tool wielding civilization. And also in Peru is what I find very interesting is you've got a brilliant visual contrast to use when you look at what is the Inca work, which is the rough cut stone, the mortar brick using walls. Like, this is all present in Peru next to the megalithic sites, and the mainstream will attribute all of this to the Inca of 600 years ago, but you'll see that the stone walls, rough cut, cement and mortar, they're still standing. They're pretty pristine, pretty good, next to megalithic multi-ton slabs of granite that are broken to pieces and strewn across the hillside. So it just looks like there was a lot of desolation, potentially geological trauma in this area, and then these people, the Inca, discovered these sites, built around them. You can see in like the cracks and corners of all these megaliths that there's like stone walls that they've tried to kind of, you know, reinforce. It's very visually obvious, actually, when you go out to these places.
Isn't it fascinating that people aren't willing to consider the possibility that this is from an older time? Like that, it's heresy.
It's just such a knee-jerk reaction, man. Like, I think, at the end of the day, it was probably evidence from, like, 1800s explorers, right? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, we've moved forward. There's a lot of contradicting evidence and data in a lot of these countries, whether it be, you know, Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, or the potential infrastructure below the Giza Plateau, and then the incredible megaliths in Peru, like Sacsayhuaman. It just feels like what we're doing is rehashing the same status quo orthodoxy, and it's coming up against ever piling higher mountain of evidence. And one of the cool things that I got to do out in Peru was go to Sacsayhuaman, where they've got current archaeological digs going on through the Chincana project, which is an archaeological team out there, and they're doing digs, and they have actually discovered below, like 10 meters down into the ground, precision carved blocks of stone that are coming out of the earth. And this is where, in this region in Cusco, the Andean legends are that there is a vast labyrinth below ground connecting Cusco to Sacsayhuaman, connecting Sacsayhuaman to the Sacred Valley, all spreading out across the Andean mountain range. And this is like an old legend. This is what the shamans and the, you know, sacred keepers of knowledge would say in Peru. We're finding evidence for it. We're literally going underground now and seeing that there are actually really precise elements of infrastructure below Sacsayhuaman, and they're just beginning to uncover this. I was one of the first to go down there and actually see these blocks myself, and it's just like, this is happening now. That, you know, we're actually getting to a place where we can start to validate some of these forgotten myths and folklores, or if you want to call them conspiracies or pseudoscience from the archaeological side of things. It's being evidenced now.
That's mad. So these tunnels and like what is exactly the structure that's supposed to be down there, and what have they discovered?
So it's supposed to be called the Chincana, like the labyrinth, and there's a few different Chincana entrances around the region.
How big is it supposed to be?
Vast, multiple kilometers. It's stretching from down Sacsayhuaman down into Cusco and then off into the Andean mountain range to the Sacred Valley.
It's very similar to some of the stuff that they found in Egypt.
Yes.
That's bananas.
Yes. And then what's interesting is you have the same hallmarks and signatures that you see in Egypt. So you see the stone nubs, you know, these little protrusions that you get. I'm addicted to those, man, because they are all over the world.
Do you have any theories?
I mean, I've listened to a lot of theories. I certainly think that
we should show an image of it.
Yeah, like
don't know what we're talking about.
Stone nubs.
There's all of these incredible, massive stones that have been somehow or another moved from a quarry, sometimes that were hundreds of miles away. They all have these weird nubs on them, and no one knows what they are. And there's a bunch of theories, like maybe they help them move.
Yeah, there we go.
Things. You see them all over the place. And no one quite knows what those are.
India, you see them in Egypt, you see them in Peru. This is in Ollantaytambo in the Sacred Valley.
This is one of the things that's so infuriating about people that are arrogant about gatekeeping information and being the only ones that are allowed to distribute the truth,
right?
Air quotes.
Right.
We're missing so much.
Yeah.
There's no way you really know.
Huge gaps of knowledge.
We're missing so much, and more time goes on, as Graham Hancock always says, shit just keeps getting older. And now they just push back the use of fire by 300,000 plus years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it just keeps going. It's not going forward.
No.
It's going backwards.
And anatomically modern humans, I think, have got much further back now in time. They're looking at 800,000 years.
Yes,
and
plus.
so, plus, yeah.
Possibly even 1 million.
Right.
This is what weirds me out about these creatures. Like, human beings have gotten to the point multiple times where we were almost extinct. The Toba volcano, I think we got down to, God, was it 7,000 people? Is that like the low estimate?
Damn, really?
Yeah. It's a crazy story. Like, super volcanoes are unbelievably devastating to just all life. You know, because it just changes the temperature of the earth, the entire surface, whatever doesn't get blasted out of the ground by the actual volcano itself. All the other stuff on the other side of the world gets fucked. Like, it's just, it just ruins everything. We got down to like a few thousand people. And then there was another time where one of these guys who came, God, I forget who that was as well. We were talking about the reality of glaciation,
right,
and about what happens during ice ages and how devastating it can be. And they were saying that we had gotten at least multiple times in the history of the Earth to the point where it was incapable of sustaining life.
Wow.
That within a few, you know, like whatever parts per million of carbon dioxide are necessary to support plant life, we literally got to the part where it was almost impossible to support life. And then it rebounded, and everything's fine. So there's so much we don't know.
Absolutely, man.
So crazy to try to pretend you know that people 600 years ago make this. Because we know people 600 years ago lived there. We have a lot of archaeological evidence, and we have... But you have weird structures on top of obviously much more intricate and complex structures.
Yeah, and again, they share the same signatures as places like in Egypt and India. You know,
they think you're a kook.
Yeah, they do. And it's just a knee-jerk reaction. It's adherence to a status quo, and you know, you get channeled through a very kind of fine wall in academia, and I think that it can be a real detriment actually to opening up your ideas and being a little bit more expansive with what could be possible, because you do get put into a very restrictive format in the traditional academic sense. And then obviously you have, you know, the pressures of funding and things like this, and you're not going to get the funding if you're talking about this crazy shit, and it's just like a self-fulfilling censoring, you know. But it's with the rise of alternative media, we're changing the game a bit, because you can actually put a voice out there, you can put an idea out there. It's not completely stonewalled by the academic circle. They can't actually prevent people from discussing these ideas in an open media format like this.
Right, and if you put a video like you did on X or on YouTube, people can...
You dumb fuck.
Exactly. You see the CT scans and you're automatically go, wait a minute, this is 1,200 years old?
Yeah, you're
So
right.
you're telling me someone faked this 1,200 years ago? Like, I don't think they could fake that now. You don't get, like,
I don't think they could.
Hollywood special effects guys, but then the composition of the actual, the bones
Like
and
I
everything.
said, like cartilage and muscle
Yeah.
tissue and...
How would you fake that?
Circling back, I
How
texted
would you
Jesse
fake that?
to ask him for some insight on what
Oh,
he'd asked
nice.
for.
Yeah.
Hercules 20-volt brushless power tools have power, durability, and versatility with the universal 20-volt battery system to power every tool. Make the move to Hercules. As good as the best for a whole lot less. Only at Harbor Freight.
If your farts stink, your face is puffy, you wake up feeling like you have horrible sugar cravings, your skin keeps breaking out, and you have zero energy after 8 hours of sleep. And I can't even blame you, because I used to deal with all of that as well until I fixed this one thing. It's the same thing that got rid of my pufferfish face I had. This is the only thing that worked. And no, it wasn't such a stupid 12 days.
He sent me was a screenshot of a book where he got it from.
Thanks for
I
this,
had to
Shane.
translate. Translation here shows
science of insemination.
Yeah, Jumana, I guess is the local word.
I
So
told
it's a
you,
local
bro.
word for what that area is called.
Right.
This is a book he found from that area, I think, and it says, yeah, Laboratory of Insemination and Cloning.
What?
That's what I'm saying,
And look
dude.
at all these terms. They use yuma, semen, yume equal verb to inseminate, umage, the science of insemination, umapage, wise inseminator, yuma, scion or clone.
This is what I'm saying, bro.
Jume, to clone. Jumage, the science of cloning, and Jumpage, wise cloner.
So basically,
what the fuck, man?
You know, it's there. It's it's interesting, and then obviously. You have these bodies, you have this.
Bro, this is
mad. Yeah, like this was, dude, this was like one little 10-second clip in his documentary, and it just made me perk up. Like, wait a minute, what?
The name of the place is like a laboratory of insemination and cloning.
And they're getting a smorgasbord of different beings coming out of this area, right? Like,
what?
Jesse does add, I think he's speculating somewhat on the etymology, not definitive. But
oh, right. But yeah, I mean, it's there.
That's why Jesse's better at this than me. I'm like, it's clear. Oh, it's done. The proof is there. Wow,
but
that
it is
so
interesting.
nuts.
Yeah, it is interesting, and I think it does, you know, leads into what was happening on this planet a long time ago.
It doesn't. It leads to, like, my point was when I was getting to the whole super volcano thing.
Yeah.
What if something happened that wiped that species out?
Right.
Like, clearly there's no more Neanderthals, right? Whatever happened, whether it was us or disease or whatever killed them off, they don't exist anymore. We only have evidence of people interbred with them. What is that thing? Is that thing maybe one of us, like another kind of human? Look, another kind of primate. Look how different we are than rhesus monkeys, right? Like, we're all primates. We're so fucking different. Why would we assume that the ones that we found so far, including, like, what did they find Denisovans like 15 years ago or something like that?
Right.
And then Homo juliens, what was that one? That was just a few years ago. Like, they keep finding these new versions of people. Not new, obviously.
No.
But long extinct versions of people.
I think it's possible, and I also think that there's a, you know, potential. What if a particular root species of hominid decided to opt into subterranean living, and they escaped a lot of the surface world traumas and were actually able to kind of maintain their society? I mean, look at all of the weird evidence we have of vast underground cities. Derek Cooley would love to go there. My God,
Jimmy Corsetti just released a video on it. It's bananas.
Could you imagine renovating your house and fucking finding that?
Renovating your house and finding there's room for 20,000 people under your house.
Would you say anything?
Depends on where you live in a place where the government can just come and take your house.
Yeah, I'd be worried about that.
I would say if I was in America. But if it was in America, what if I really like my house and now my house is connected to this heritage site and fucking archaeologists want to come? Like, get out of my yard.
Exactly. But like, yeah, I think about this and I think about all of these different. Yeah, good. No, I'm happy to hear that.
I'm fucking around.
Happy to hear that. But it's interesting. And then you have, you know, strange stories like from the Hopi tribe about the ant people that came during a time of cataclysm, and they brought them underground and then they brought them back up. And there's a few like that. There was a really interesting podcast years ago. I remember seeing this where they brought these two Amazonian shamans on the podcast, like full headdress. They spoke their own tribal language. They needed an interpreter in the room, and the guy asked them what they thought about aliens, and they didn't understand the question, didn't know what he meant by alien. He was like thumbing through this book, and he put up a picture of a grey, and the tribesmen went, "Oh, that's Makunwabu, that's Makunwabu," and they had a whole story about how this was a human that became an ant that lives underground, and it can appear in the divine light, but you should be very careful with this being because it will take your soul underground, and you need a very good shaman to bring your soul back. And they were taking it real seriously. Like, yeah, dude. Like, cultures, they know, man. They fucking know.
Well, I think there's an ancient memory in people. I think it's one of the reasons why these post-apocalypse movies are so popular. There's a lot of post-apocalypse movies where, you know, like, people, they figure out how to make houses out of wood again, they're surviving, they make little encampments, and they fight off the intruders from the outside. You know, real, like, Walking Dead type shit with no zombies.
Yeah.
I think there's a memory in us of the surviving humans. I think there's a memory. We probably have been through some terrible moments in Earth's history where there was an enormous disaster, and we are the ancestors of the survivors, and I don't think there was a lot of survivors.
No. In fact, I heard you talking about that the other day, where you were saying about, like, and it's something I agree with, the necessity for post-cataclysm, post-apocalypse. The strong men would inherit the earth. You know,
monsters would
inherit the earth, right? And so if we really were a hyper-advanced Atlantean type civilization prior to this, maybe even more matriarchal than patriarchal, it would make sense that when things fall apart, obviously, and you need fast forward to where we are now. Look at our incredibly competitive, hyper, kind of aggressive culture that we have. It would make sense that this was formed through the seeds of trauma and through the seeds of having to fight for survival and
Yes.
recovering what was lost.
Yes, which also makes sense why the past, the further you go back, the more barbaric these people are. You're dealing, and you're like, well, it took a while for people to learn, maybe, but maybe you're dealing with people that had to, they probably had cannibalized. I mean, they probably had to eat everything they could. There was only a few thousand of them left. But if we really got hit by asteroids, like if the Younger Dryas is correct, it makes sense that it would take like 5,000 years for civilization to emerge again. Because that seems to be what happened. It seems to be like you have literally scraggly survivors, and then eventually the Earth gets back to normal. But even then, it takes thousands of years for people to just have a semblance of what we're experiencing today in terms of civilization.
And that's why
Your severe asthma says you can't? Tespire says you can. Tespire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over that helps you prevent attacks and relieve asthma symptoms. Tespire is not a rescue medication. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue.
Shut up.
History is so fascinating, and the Neolithic and the Stone Age, because, okay, so this is a time when we were just basic hunter-gatherers. We had no,
I haven't even barely started with that motherfucker, so that's the thing. I can roast the living fuck out of people, and I mean, I could fucking put his ass on chopping block and keep going, because I'm really good at roasting the fuck out of people, and people like him especially.
I'm a little bit nervous of being on it. Like equinox alignment and like alignments to the sun and the moon. Mathematically, geodetically aligned to what look like telluric currents, like electromagnetic flows beneath the ground. A lot of these stone henges and dolmens are placed on places where you have strong electromagnetic concentrations. And just the package of mathematics and engineering and stone crafting and the knowledge of the sun and the stars and your placement on the planet.
Sucks to be an asshole, but sometimes you have to be.
These other areas in the world. How can you do that if you're just hunter-gatherers coming out of animalistic behavior? It doesn't make any sense. And then we kind of regress as we go further into history, and the stonework becomes less impressive, the things become less accurate. And I find that very interesting. How is it at the beginnings of our history some of the most impressive structures exist?
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Just Egypt alone with the conventional timeline of 2,500 BC for the Great Pyramid doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. I think that they most likely settled around those pyramids. Most likely settled around them. And the scans, if these can be validated fully and empirically with digs and confirmation physically, then that changes everything.
It changes everything. You're seeing a lot of people spaz out online.
Oh, yeah.
It's wonderful to watch. It's been wonderful to watch because when people are under pressure, their real character gets revealed. Right. And they're under a lot of pressure right now because those scans, that radio tomography or whatever the fuck it is,
synthetic aperture radar,
it's super accurate with stuff that we know exists.
Yes.
That's what's a real problem for these people. You want to believe it exists when it can map out all these chambers in the pyramid. You want to believe it exists when it can map out things that we know that exist 50 feet underground. You want to map, you're cool with that.
Yeah. But 1 kilometer of subterranean?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Also, multiple scans from multiple...
Like over 200.
Yes. It's all the same message. Yes. They're getting the same message. There's pillars, enormous pillars. They have coils around them. What? Pillars with coils. All of them have coils.
Yeah, dude.
And the whole structure is like almost 2 kilometers deep into the earth.
It's obscene. It's obscene. Like laterally as well, like 2 kilometers of infrastructure. It's like the whole underground.
Explain. Help me out.
Exactly.
People with copper tools, help me out.
And that was my frustration when it first came out, because when it came out, obviously I did some like research into the people involved in the Khafra pyramid team. I found Filippo Bionde. I found his Harmonic SAR website, where it has listed the things like the Mosul Dam in Iraq and the Gran Sasso Laboratory in Italy, places that they'd actually done scans prior to even the Great Pyramid, which was peer-reviewed. Their 2020 scan of the Great Pyramid was a peer-reviewed paper. And then you fast forward to now, where they've got these ones, and you have people like, Flint Dibble on Piers Morgan going, it's bullshit, it's pseudoscience, it's never been done before, it's never been tested. And it's like, well, it has been done, it has been tested, it's actually got a patent, it's been peer-reviewed in a paper.
Military applications.
Military applications, and Filippo Biondi, he works for the Italian government. Like, he's not some idiot. He's a very, very intelligent man, and he can speak on the science of this, like, articulately. So
he works on top secret projects for the Italian military.
I don't know if you call
Motherfucker, it didn't take the fucking thing. Mother son of a bitch. Fucking can't stand this piece of shit. It doesn't fucking accept it. Like when I leave, it's on my bag. Motherfucker.
Whatever this is, everyone should be fascinated. You shouldn't be dismissing this if that's not even your field of expertise. It just shows what kind of a fucking weirdo you are. Like, what you should be doing is going, okay, how many scans do you have?
Yeah.
You have 200 scans of this? Show me more. Show me more. Tell me what's going on. We should probably figure out what that is. Imagine if the pyramids didn't exist. Or imagine if it's like, the Sphinx at one point in time was mostly covered with sand. Let's just imagine some crazy scenario where the entire pyramid structure is covered in sand and nobody knows it exists. And then someone comes along and does a scan of the surface of the ground and says, you're not gonna fucking believe this, but there's some shit under that. Now, what if everybody goes, that's ridiculous, that's preposterous, and they don't look.
Exactly.
And they don't look. We never find the thing that we all agree exists. Because you can go there, you can visit.
Right.
It's there, right? If that didn't exist, you'd never fucking believe in a million years there's a structure with 2,300,000 stones that's perfectly aligned, the true north, south, east, and west, and you're dating it to somewhere around 4,000.
I mean, that sounds like some pseudoscience conspiracy talk to me, Joe.
Sounds like
exactly
kookiness.
Right.
Why is it more kooky to say these people not only were this advanced, they were even more advanced.
Yeah.
Way more. They were down into the ground, 2 kilometers. It might have been a power station.
Sir, cross there. Why are you not hitting this balloon?
This would be like a hook.
Yeah.
Shut. Do you want me to throw there? You should say,
Shut up.
Well, Filippo thinks that. He seems to think that the spirals might have actually been tied to hydrology and using mechanical stress and the piezoelectric materials used in the Great Pyramid and the plateau itself, because what you have is a very interesting coupling between limestone and rose granite. So limestone is a very good amplifier of acoustics, and rose granite becomes electrical, piezoelectric under mechanical stress, and acoustics are a form of mechanical stress. So there's like certainly something to be said about the fact that the pyramids are acoustically tuned. Like, they're incredible inside the acoustics, and they've done lots of measurements and experiments on validating that it almost seems to go up in a perfect scale up to the King's Chamber. And then the King's Chamber itself, I believe, is focused around 110 to 115 hertz, which is interesting for neurological reasons in terms of influencing the brain. But on top of that, you have, again, this incredible coupling between limestone and rose quartz granite, where under the right conditions, you absolutely could get energetic responses from that. But as well as this, you have the hydrological knowledge, which is really quite impressive. And when you look at places like the Osirian in Abydos, which is a kind of sunken down temple, we call everything a temple or a sacred site, but we really don't know, do we? It could be functional sites, it could be a power plant of some form, like you said. And the Assyrian in Abydos, next to it you have the Seti I temple, which is incredible. It's beautiful and full of calligraphy and hieroglyphics. And then you have this bare, faceless, megalithic place called the Osirian, which is sunken down into the ground, perpetually filled with water. So they tried to pump it out, and it just fills back up again because it's connected down into the water table. And there's all these different shafts and hydrological kind of components in this site that they don't understand the full function of. And then you look at places like the Great Pyramid, where you go down to the bottom of the Great Pyramid, you have like the kind of core. And this whole area looks like it's been water eroded, as if it was flooded out repeatedly and used as some sort of like a pump or some sort of like sequencing area where you push water in and then let it out, push water in and let it out. And so Filippo thinks that maybe these spirals bringing water up. And if you're 1,000 meters down, you're tapping into like ancient aquifers. So you could be drawing up a really impressive amount of like ancient water. And I just wonder if, same with Peru, there's something incredibly important about accessing this kind of water at the real depths of the earth, and they seem to have a real interest in doing that. So perhaps the pyramids are in some way like, if these spirals are real, it's like a plug, isn't it? It's like plugged into the earth, connected down into these aquifers. Perhaps it was utilizing water as an energetic medium through the materials.
But I would recommend to anybody to check out Christopher Dunn's work.
Oh, fantastic.
I had him on the podcast, and he explained to us his theory. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
And he started studying the structure of the pyramid, and his conclusion was the entire thing was probably used to generate energy. And it's like, what? But when he breaks it down in terms of, I'll butcher the math if I even try, but in terms of the dimensions, the way it's made, and the fact that you could have something that was down in the basement that was somehow or another creating a resonance.
Right.
That would have this effect, the shafts that go up straight out into space, and the fact that there's evidence that they would possibly use these shafts to pour chemicals in, and it would create gases and...
Well, this is
pretty nuts.
It is nuts, but you
Yeah,
know,
I got the finger of
time
on
before
this.
then, I was out there with a guy called Jeffrey Drum. He's got a YouTube channel called The Land of Chem, and he's all about this in terms of the chemical mass manufacturing that was going on in the pyramids and these other areas. And we filmed all of the coverage of that. If anyone wants to go and see it on my YouTube channel, taking us through areas in the Giza Plateau where you have an incredible concentration on the Giza Plateau of iron veins. And they all seem to be emanating
where's my
from
fucking
the
car?
pyramids. So if you go around,
I literally just lost my car,
these
so
iron vein networks
and I just
are
like went
flowing
into
out
the map.
from the central point, and these iron veins are heading down into what are called these boat pits.
When you say iron veins, so like
iron ore.
Iron ore.
Yeah, iron ore.
It's on the surface. It's deep in the ground.
I mean, there's some on the surface, so you can actually see the snaking kind of veins of iron that's kind of rusted out and oxidized, and you can make it out. But surely it must be deeper as well. But it seems to be stretching out.
My
from
fucking
the
car
pyramids
ain't
down into
here.
these,
Like it's emanating from the pyramids?
So his theory is that they built the pyramid. Yeah. His theory is that they built the pyramids on top of these iron veins, particularly because this place was getting lightning strikes frequently. And
oh boy!
Yeah, I know.
It's a giant lightning rod,
dude. I mean, these things are built in a way, and they were gold capped at one point, like
right. And gold is a really good conductor
of
That's
electricity.
why they like it for electronics.
And the Giza Plateau is covered in these conductive iron vein networks, which the pyramids do seem to be built upon. Now, this is his personal theory, but he's an American who's been living out in Cairo now for about 6 or 7 years, I believe. He just decided to up and move out there and dedicate his life to exploring these places.
So
he took
my
us
bike,
across all these amazing areas and showed us things I'd never seen before in Egypt. But his theory on the pyramids.
Nice, we got a revenge raid, baby.
Some form of chemical
Actually, I was waiting for that.
place, and if you know the original name for Egypt was Kemet. That's why this guy's got his YouTube channel, The Land of Chem. Kemet is the beginning of chemistry and alchemy. So this is one of the root words where we then got chemistry and alchemy. So it is the land of chemistry and alchemy.
That's bananas.
There you go. Is this? Oh, this is one of his videos. Great.
This is the iron ore.
So these are I believe he's probably highlighting the iron veins, and these iron veins head out into what are called boat pits, which they believed in the mainstream interpretation.
You freaked me out with the Land of Chem. That is crazy. But when did they name that?
I don't know when it was named that, but it was originally referenced as Kemet in some of the ancient Greek, and there's reference to it being called Kemet, K-H-E-M-E-T.
And it really means the same thing.
It's what people believe is a continuation of alchemy and chemistry, because you get so much alchemy from Egypt, and obviously this is the place where you get Hermes Trismegistus and Hermeticism, and the Philosopher's Stone kind of leaks out from these types of areas. So I think that there is a lot to suggest this. Plus, we actually know in the mainstream that they were incredible chemists, like regardless of the exotic forms of chemistry, that we know they were using acids and natron baths and things like this. Like the Egyptians knew what they were doing, even from the perspective that we understand.
They had acid baths and shit.
Getting a little bit deeper into it, but yeah.
Right, and you're talking about.
Let's run out and see where we're going.
Right, so like we know that they were doing it historically. Exactly. Yeah.
That's why it's so strange. Like, if this structure is proved to be real, if they start an excavation and they
blew a fucking wall.
Like, without a doubt, there's some man-made structures that are beyond description underneath the ground. What happens now? Like, what does everybody do? Like, what do all these dorks that think that
you have to?
Well, I think the pyramids uniquely stand as like an intelligence test, because they are so crazy. When you have stones that are so large that are taken from quarries hundreds of miles away.
500 miles away.
A lot of these people supposedly didn't even have the wheel. So what is this? What, you don't think this is crazy? Like this isn't like, oh, we know they use the wood from these trees to build these homes. Like this is bananas.
Yeah, whole other level.
This is something that would take us hundreds of years today to build.
You are sleeping in a position like this. You are wrecking your body and your breathing. Obstructive sleep apnea happens when your upper airway
I'm wondering why they're still fucking zombie in my place.
reducing the oxygen intake needed to restore cognitive function and recovery. While it may only result in loud snoring,
One of the things that is said so much, but I guess it's kind of shrugged off just because it's said so much, but it's actually a really important point to highlight. There are no fucking hieroglyphs in the pyramids. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a different. We gotta make a different server so people like. There's no admin, so he's gonna keep going on and going on and going on. I told him why we kicked him, told him why we had a problem, and he still wants to berate and be a fucking little cunt. So it's what it is. Gonna be that way because we told him no. When you tell somebody no and they don't like it, they fucking shit bricks. So it is what it is. I'm always right with shit, and kicking that fucking douchebag out is like the first thing that we did perfect in here, because we don't need that person in here at all. Because say he's in here and then he has more fucking hacker shit going on, and the more bullshit that he pulls with that, it makes it so that we're fucked. We're associated with this person, and then we're known for being hackers or dealing with them and letting them being okay with all those things. So if we condone that shit, we're fucked. Well, arguing is, well, that's the thing. I want people to be team players, not fucking just, you know, just fucking idiots. Like he had fucking like 70 fucking batteries and he didn't go anywhere or do anything. No, he doesn't deserve them. He doesn't deserve any of it. He sabotaged us. He fucked us all. Because of his bullshit in the beginning. With his alt accounts. The alt accounts fucked us. Come here, dog. His alt account fucked us. So, having that guy anywhere near us is, yeah. So him screwing everybody in the camp, pretty much, is not all good. Because we all want points, we're all doing something for points. He wants to fucking play fuck around games. And we can't fucking have that. And that's the thing. It's just, what the motherfuck? No, he doesn't get any rewards. He didn't get anything. He got nada. And that's what he deserves. So, because when you sabotage a camp, you kind of asked for it. What the fuck? I gotta see what the fuck's going on here in this space, because this is not right. That didn't call anybody in? Hey, what up, what up? Yeah, I'm doing a raid. This is a revenge raid. This guy's got, like, dick in here. Like, literally not dick. There's nothing in this bitch. Nothing. And you can't do this. Like, the fuck is this? We got a hacker base. Oh. Can't play any fucking copyrighted music. Ooh. So yeah, that's about it. I stuck my other fucking gun in there. I got no music on. Let's turn it off. I was watching I was looking at what my raid was. So it didn't matter about my music. The game fucking Broken AK. Fucking gay. Yeah, I just had a battle with some fucking douchebag that buys modded shit from people all day long on fucking Discord. It's so annoying. It's so fucking childish. Because the person doesn't understand that why he was kicked, because he didn't say he was joining with 2 alt accounts. And so I was like, dude, no, I'm fucking done, dude. I'm not doing this. And then the guy got really mad because I was like, yo, if we fucking keep you around, we're going to be associated with hackers, and I'm not going to have it. I'm sorry. So he really got fucking pissed, and now he's fucking all crybaby bitch boy. Fucking, you know, liberal whiny type fucking cunts, you know. So it is what it is. He's just a whiny little cunt. Happens. There's a lot of them out there. I got a fucking ATV wheel, that's about it. Yeah. That's it. Broken fucking ATV. Come on now, come on now. What the fuck? Spread shot. Grenade launcher. That was suck dick, dude. It gave me fucking. I went and I re-looked up like what the fuck it was, and like I just didn't. I don't feel like I needed to fucking go do that raid. It was a revenge raid, but still. Do I need to pay the fucking bitches down there for this? I don't think I do. I've been playing a long time. I quit for a while. Like my number is 1375. So I've been playing this game. I played this game for 2.5 years straight, and then they lost my fucking account. And they had to give it all back to me. But they didn't give it all back. More fucking bullshit than anything. So what the fuck is on that box? Weird. Let's see if any of these are broken. So I want to start stoning my fucking other layer. I was wondering if I should do that or not. There's nothing in there. The dog's got a gun, right? Yeah, I left and fucking forgot my fucking shit. I was so irritated. The only thing that was good is we got a new shovel. Take the fucking hammer with me. I need to. My level 2 puppy's fucking ready. So. Good dog. I gotta go get more. So grab our tools now. And 2, 3. Da, 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 da. Let's take that broken one. Food. What do I have for armor on? Let's switch this shit. Might as well just fucking mix them. Okay, now. This guy didn't even fucking break in my boxes over here. Zero zilch, nada. Let's fix these. Right here, right? Motherfucker, where? Oh, I set it over here. I kind of fucked up and I should have went and did that zone to get the fucking finger, but it pissed me off that I didn't have my fucking car with me. So, what we got here? We got 110 right now. So I'll be off, we'll be off in about an hour. I'm from Eastern Washington. Yeah, I'm in the Northwest. And I'm handicapped, so that's the only reason why I'm not outside going and doing survival shit. So my back's fucked for like the rest of my life. I need iron ore, so we're gonna hit this map and then send a ship home. Go, motherfucker. The fuck? Why'd he shoot? I didn't even touch the screen. I just hit automatic and let him go. There's nothing to shoot at. It threw me off when I didn't see my car. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Where's my car at? I should have like went and fucking turned my stream on like shit and just looked and watched. Oh no. No, bitch. I stopped you from fucking automatically. Give me some more fucking shit, bitch. So happens when the map jumps. Looks like they just ran over to this guy. Bye. Thanks for the beer, bitch. Cool, my turtle is kicking all the shit around on the side and it's sucking all that up into the filter. It's fucking dope. She's doing her job in there as a turtle. Good job. My turtle just decides to take a shit in front of me. Yo, we're in the red zone. I think. Can't just walk away. get some ore over here. Let's switch it up. Switch it up. Yeah, I need to get worms for my turtle. Speed up, bitch. We got half hour left. I'm gonna be off at 2:15. Try to stick to that. So I was asked like what my schedule is. I'm on 6 p.m. every day. Earlier, sometimes. I was about to say. Where's my fucking thing at? I don't get it. I don't know how to fucking see that. Where do I find the tag? Fuck me for being an idiot. How do I find that? Fuck. Oh, got it. Wait, what? My phone number? I don't care. My phone number's... Somebody can play around, I don't care. No one really wants to fuck with me. I'll just say that. I have a crazy fucking... My file is like this fucking thick in the government. And I could show... Should I show the emails of working with Homeland Security or what? I can show all that shit. I think some people would be scared to talk to me after that. So, that's what it is. I had to switch over my laundry. I just did some laundry. I just had to take my big towels out of there, so I didn't dry those in my other clothes, so it didn't get all fucking jumbled and shit. Yeah, I'm my own housewife. And I'm all good with that. I do my own shit all fucking day. I don't need to do nothing else for anybody. Except for my daughter. So. it's fucking awesome too. I know shit's gonna like pop with like a fucking event. Thank you goes a long way with Serbians. Yup. If I learned how to speak Russian, you guys would be like fucking shit. Because then I'd be able to talk to those guys over and over and over about what's going on, and then no one really understand except for if you were Russian. I probably could learn, those backwards R's are pretty predominant, so I gotta figure out how to talk like that. Yeah, we gotta switch a gun too, right? Yeah. Blah, blah. they doing up there? These fucking people, man. Alright, we're gonna heal up our spore rifle. Our snipper. And hopefully we can get something on that wheel so we can pop this fucker, because it's 400 and it is 48 hours. So, yippity-doo-dah. Right? But we got our other guy here. That's a one-hit wonder I just deleted. I have the caps in my bag, right? Or are they in the dog? Probably gonna fucking dump those handlebars in her ass. Let's take it all. We need to pull all the shit from over here. I think I already did. I know I left stuff. I'm waiting for it to reset because I have a bunch of shit I need to do. $6.5 for 20 turkeys. Fucking dead ass in the house. I just heard somebody talking. It wasn't the music. A little bit of effort. Dude, this fucking fish. I'm gonna flush you today. Fucking asshole. My fish is a fucking asshole. It keeps attacking my turtle for no fucking reason. Piece of shit. It's lucky it doesn't get eaten. I'm killed by the turtle. Like, I'm fucking cheering the turtle on to fucking kill it. Bad to say that, but I don't fucking care. Fucking stupid ass fucking fish, dude. Trash fish. It's a bottom feeder, too. Just like a Democrat. Bottom feeders. Bottom feeder. Alright, it is 2:20. I'm gonna get on to cooking and getting a couple of things done. And then I will be back on at 6:30. So, let's see. Put this stuff away. Oh, fucking bitch. Dude, no. I went to hit this button right here, and I was used to it, and I thought I was gonna hit it, and so it went to here. Cocksucker. Alright, so we gotta get some more of these, and today we'll get these to make that other little bench of ours. So when we come back on, we also got this to make the cable. So, yeah. So when we get back on, I think I need, not just the table, I need 6 to do that generator. So I need screws. I have about 100 and something up there. So let's see what we need. So I'll just put it in my bag and we'll have it ready to go. I love this stuff. It's good luck. Yeah, 6. I need 10 of those cables that I just had. Pocket, so we'll grab those. And look, we could make this right now. We have enough of these to make both of these, but I don't have this stuff. So I would have to buy a pack to get it. So no other settlement packs. I'm not kidding. Yeah, fuck with this shit. Like this thing. Because you need this. So it's $14 to fix that one up. But so we'll do this next month. Just to get that thing done. Because it was $15. I can make that on a scratch ticket. So which literally I can and have. So we got, I'm not going to switch any of my cables just yet. So we'll go and grab the other shit. I just didn't know if it was if it wanted rubber parts or screws. It's like rubber parts. It's like we got 20 stack here and a 10 stack. Right? So, and I'm gonna get another stack of these, so I don't know if we need the screws just yet, but I'm gonna have stacks of stuff waiting, like, I have another stack of this to put in there, and those when we come back. Let's make some bricks. More planks left. It's all good with me. Alright. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're an active player and you're not toxic or whatever, give us an application. We got 7. So if you guys want to be in a good camp, we're here. A good clan, whatever you want to call it. We don't deal with hackers. We don't deal with any of that shit. Hackers made it so we fucking got shit like this. So, which is kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. Yeah, I kicked that one dude before fucking, we had 717,000. So, we still got fucking dog, whatever, but we got bumped out of this spot right here. So, like, the ration spot, fuck this. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I'll be back on at 6:30. I'm on at 6:30 every day, Monday through Friday. Saturdays, and I'll be on like during the daytime. So, and then Sunday after like, I want to say like after like 2:30, maybe 2 o'clock, and then I'll play for a little while, and then sometimes I'll play through the night, sometimes not. Anyways, yeah, I don't deal with hackers. I don't deal with anybody that's modders. I do not give a fuck what you have to do. If you bought an account that was like that, I don't care. You are guilty of it. You're participating in it. So if you're involved in anything like that, it's not gonna happen. So the thing is, I'm gonna ask developers if I can be part of the North American chapter dealing with the Last Day on Earth modders and hackers and things like that. Because literally, like, they talk about an unfair advantage. There's beyond unfair advantage. People just duping shit every 2 seconds, just bringing it over, and then you have a whole chest of everything. You just duplicate the image, and the image is the fucking gun, and then you put it in your inventory, and then it works. Anyways, later everybody. See you in a little while. Back to my real life. Later.